Good evening, I am Mr. Ish. For those of you who will probably take a standardized exam, the American style standardized exam from high school to college, you know on those exams there's a specific type of question, an expression style of question which pops up on every exam. It's meant to be tricky. In this video I am demonstrating how you handle that. You're basically given some information and you have to express your final expression with regards to the variables that you've been provided. And your end result is usually just an expression you're trying to determine, not a numerical quantity, but an expression. And I have something in terms of that here with regards to this question. If you're looking here, we have this question for us to look at. And I'll be providing you a good tip for this video. If P, you could have used any letters, but if P equals amount of task completed, R equals the amount of task remaining. If P equals the amount of task completed, R equals the amount of task remaining, we have to express in an expression with percent the amount of task remaining. So we're talking here with regards to an expression which will demonstrate the percentage of the task that remains. That's why I've written here in percent, the percentage of the task that remains. How can you go about doing this? Well, look at what you have and think logically. If P represents the amount of task completed, and the R is the amount of task remaining, then you know P plus R, what you've completed, what remains, represents the total of that entire task. You know when you're looking at a percentage, you're looking at what you have divided by a total. What you have is really a P, and the total here happens to be a P plus R. That is what is demonstrating so far with regards to an expression. The amount of task completed divided by the total amount of that task which remains. But we have to look everything here with regards to percentage. If you multiply this by 100, you will determine the percentage of task that has been completed, because P represents the amount of task completed divided by its total times 100 gives you the percentage of the task completed. We have a P 100 over P plus R. This represents the percentage of task, and I'm going to write here an abbreviation, completed. How can you determine the percentage of task that remains? If a certain percentage is completed and there's a certain total percentage, the amount which is not completed must then be 100% minus this percent. You will have 100% minus this percent. And if you want, you can eliminate the percentage sign, because I've already expressed this in terms of percentage. You'll do 100 minus this, P 100, or you can write 100P, which would seem a little better, over P plus R. What you can do here now is do a common denominator. The common denominator here will be P plus R. 1 goes in P plus R times, and you multiply with this. You'll have P plus R multiplying with this 100 to give you a 100P plus 100R, and then you know you have this side right here minus 100P. When you simplify this, because we're trying to develop everything here with regards to a single expression, the P variables cancel out. You end up just having 100R over P plus R. And this right here would be your final answer, which would represent the percentage of the task that remains to be completed. I want to put it right over here for you. Now, for some of you, you will accept this and you know it will make sense to you mentally, but for some of us it may not make sense mentally, because we have so much going on in that final answer that we just don't know whether it's right or not. The tip given if you have time is this. What you do is you look at everything with regards to real numbers, with actual values. You take your expressions here or your variables and you replace them with numbers. If P equals 5, and pick easy numbers always, R equals 5. The amount of task in terms of percentage which has been completed, and the total here must be 10. I've done basically 5 over 10, which means I multiply by 100, I've completed 50% of the task. The amount of task in percentage which remains to be completed is always your task minus the amount completed, which will be the amount not completed, and this right here is your final answer. Now how can you reconcile this with this? You can, because I've given you values for P and R. You take that expression and you plug them in. You have 100, and then you have an R value which is a 5. In the denominator you have a P and an R, 5 plus 5. And you do a simple computation. You have a 500 divided by 10. And you know everything here is with regards to percentage. 500 divided by 10, you have a 50%. This very well works with that, and this tells us that our expression is correct. In this video, I'm only showing you just this specific example because I'm highlighting a specific type of question which shows up especially on those type of exams, and the intent of those designers of the test is generally to make this simple, easy, logical type of question relatively more difficult, simply because we're looking at variables and our end result or our answer is also an expression of variables. For some students it's easy to comprehend this, for others it isn't. But remember, the tip is this: bring in easy numbers, utilize those easy numbers and work with what you have in terms of the expression you're developing. These numbers can very well guide you through the process and very well verify what you have is true or not. If supposedly I did this and I got 50% here as my actual answer with the numbers, but when I'm putting the values here in my expression I'm not getting 50%, then it tells me this expression is wrong and I have to reevaluate everything. So keep everything I've shown you here in this video. Remember the tip: utilize easy real numbers where and when possible, given the fact that you might have time to do so. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.